Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode here at the Round Table on Chapter Chatter for the book Relentless. Here with my brother Dustin. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. Chilling.
I feel like I have a lot of energy. Maybe I shouldn't have drank that energy drink.
Oh, dude, it's those early energy drinks that got you all wired up. Those are the ones you're like, let's go.
I just got thinking, man, I'm just going to do pre-workout soon.
Nope.
Oh, shit.
Hey, 2 scoop.
No. Scoop and a half.
I love it. All right, man. Well, let's jump right into this, and then we can catch up on the pod. But let's start with chapter. I keep saying chapter, but whatever. Chapter session 5 or section 5.
The dark side that refuses to be taught.
Yes,
to
sir.
be good. I guess I'll finish the sentence.
There you go. Tell me about it. What did you get from this one, man?
I like this one. It's funny because my favorite story in here is the one about Tiger Woods.
Ah, yeah, the scandal.
I like that one. I like the way he presents it in here, how he talks about it, how he, because Tiger Woods was, I think he still is. That was a huge scandal. And it's funny that, to me, it's just crazy that Grover's like, I wish he wouldn't apologized. Like, which makes sense, because you start really thinking, and yeah, it sucks. He needs to apologize, in my eyes, he needs to apologize to the people that matter. But at the end of the day, all the fans and shit and everybody else, that's what it was. That's who Tiger Woods was. Nobody knew it until it broke, but
right.
That's who Tiger Woods was. Like, that's it. That was his dark side. Like, it sucks. Terrible dark side. It's not a good one. I mean, it cost you a lot of fucking money,
yeah.
But from my understanding, he's put a lot of energy into his boy, and his boy is becoming just like him.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of videos on, and to be honest, the Tiger story, like, I didn't really know much about it, to be honest, when it was happening. I mean, it kind of heard, okay, he cheated on his wife or whatever, blah blah blah, or had multiple. I don't know. I still don't know the full story. I just know that he stepped out on his family or his wife, and kind of got caught, and then everybody started kind of talking ish about him, kind of judging him on what he was doing and calling him a piece of garbage, and his game kind of got affected since then, and he had some surgeries and stuff like that. I know that, and some sports injuries that he had to kind of go through, and that he's been going through just to kind of get back to his same game. But I did read that part, and it did kind of jump out at me. I was like, okay, like when he does talk about the apology, and he goes into Charles Barkley and how he's like, he threw a guy threw ice at him, he threw him through the window, and he was like, I should have thrown him off the 3rd floor and finished the job. Like, that's what he was looking for, and I'm like, okay, he's looking for, like, I was literally going to say the word relentless, like the thought of, like, not being sorry for who you are, or what in this specific is the dark side. Like, don't be sorry for the dark side of who you are. To me, it brought me back to, because he starts talking about this, like, alcohol, and he talks about, like, he taught. I'm trying to remember who he told it to, but it was like, stop drinking. He's like, okay, stop drinking for 30 days. It was the challenge of stopping to drink for 30 days. He's like, I did it. That's like competitive edge. And I've almost related it back to like 75 Hard in the program when I looked at it from the alcoholic standpoint and like not wanting to drink, it was that challenge. It's the challenge to get these things completed, but also to prove to yourself that you can actually still do these things and get removing these, like, essentially the dark side is the way he phrased it. I'm trying to remember where I found it, but you're in tune with your dark side, but it doesn't control you.
Yeah.
So it's like, it can be there. It needs to be there, but also it needs to be a controlled manner where it'll never take too much control. You're always in the front seat.
Yep. Here's that passage you were talking about. Like my friend and client Charles Barkley, who threw a guy through a plate glass window in an Orlando nightclub after the jackass threw ice at him. You don't throw ice or anything else at Charles and expect to get away with it. After the judge dropped the charges, she asked Charles whether he had learned anything from the experience. Yes, he said. I shouldn't have thrown him through the 1st floor window. I should have taken him to the 3rd floor window and finished the job from there. No apologies. So, the dark side is, if there's something I've taken away from this, the dark side is exactly that. It's your dark side. It's the side that comes out that doesn't want to give apologies. That's the true. I mean, in a way, that's the true you. Like that's the deep dark you.
Right.
And when this one's interesting because I've thought of the dark side in a couple of different ways before. Mm-hmm. With the depression, it's the dark side that's trying to control me to just stay down. But when we went to the Limitless event and he talked about using your dark side, that was, as we've discussed, was a very pivotal moment for me. Mm-hmm. That was oh shit, why am I competing? Why am I trying to push this down rather than use this as, use it for what it is. Mm-hmm. Use it for the power, use it for the strength, use it for the energy to really drive deeper and deeper and, be more relentless in my pursuit of whatever I'm doing, especially in the gym. When he talks about the cleaner is the guy that gets up early and shows up at the gym, that one obviously hits really deep with me because that's just the way I am. There's so many people, and it's actually funny. There was like a week or two ago. It was like a Tuesday, Thursday, something. No, it was a Wednesday. Anyways, it doesn't matter the day. I woke up, I look at because I'm doing 75 hard. I wake up, I look at my phone, and I'm like, shit, it's 4:53. I have to be to work at 6 a.m. And my mind is, okay, as I'm getting out of bed instantly, normally I'm up at like 4:20, like out of bed, getting ready at like 4:20. So I'm like, okay, here's my scenarios. I know I have to do 2 workouts. I technically have the time after work, but I don't want to be doing one at like 9, 10 o'clock at night. So I'm like, okay, cool. Get up. I'm like, I'm going to get my stuff. I'm going to drive to work and I'm going to start walking. And I'm going to get my 45 minutes in. And the only reason I was talking to my wife and she's like, well, why didn't you just walk at the house? It's the same thing. I was like, because I was telling her a story of some of the guys telling me some stuff. And I'm like, well, here was my thought. If I get to work, if I get out of my truck at 5:15, that's exactly 45 minutes till 6 o'clock. I can do my walk, stop my outdoor just in time to still be on time to work. That there was 0 options. And I'm looking, I'm like, man, I'm not going to have caffeine this morning, which I'm usually have at something, pre-workout or coffee every morning. I'm like, it's going to be a rough morning, but I made the mistake of sleeping in and I have that relentless drive to just get up and get it done. And everybody's like, whoa, you're out there doing your walk. I'm like, I have no choice. Like the dark side doesn't allow me to have a choice. I need to get this shit done regardless. Just like the heat now. It's like, fuck, you just go get it done. Like last 2 days have been fucking brutal.
Yeah, I bet.
But you just got to get it done.
Well, I think that's a good point. I think it's that, like you said, it's that competitive drive. It's that challenge. And I think he says it in here, challenge to win something new, to dominate. So it's like you have to find that next thing that you can just take control of and be competitive at. And I think that's a good point. I think it's a mindset, right? It's a challenging yourself to do better and be better. And so you saw something. What is it? You can read something out?
Oh, I did. I remembered another story he's talking about in here. Like some years ago, I knew of a player who decided to challenge his ability to perform after he'd had a couple of beers. He'd drink a 6-pack at halftime just so he could go back onto the court and tell the guy across from him, I just slammed down 3 beers. I'm still going to kick your ass. And he would. So that challenge became boring. Over the season, he got a couple of his teammates in on the game to test who could drink the most beers at halftime and still play the best. One day they'd tried 2 beers, another 3, 4. They keep raising it until 2 of the guys were practically heading for the wrong bench. So the sole survivor who started the game could finally say, ha, kicked your ass.
Yep.
a ridiculous contest and no way condoning it, but how else are you going to test that you're capable of if you truly don't challenge your abilities under every possible circumstances? Which I like, because I'm like, there's times where it's like you gotta find new ways to challenge yourself, and your dark side's great at finding ways to do that.
Yeah, and he says that it's a component that you must have.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I got from this too as well, this chapter, was that it's almost like the dark side is like the guy behind me, David Goggins.
Yep.
Goggins is his dark side. The guy that doesn't give a fuck. All about, getting the job done no matter what needs to happen, what he needs to say, who he's going to offend. It's the real AF, as you would say from Andy. It's the Mamba mentality from Kobe. It's this alter ego, this guy that these people are good guys. They're good men.
Dr. Jekyll, Mr.
Dr.
Hyde.
Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. They're good men, but they have this side where when they're there, just get out of their way.
Yep.
Just move out of the way, because there's nothing that you're going to be able to do or say. It's going to snap them out of it. You just stay out, get out of the way. And I think other people can see that, they can notice that and feel that when they're in that zone, and you're just all action.
I was watching something the other day, and they went back to like Michael Jordan highlights for some reason, and it wasn't the Michael Jordan movie. It was some movie we were watching, and they were watching Michael Jordan. And I'm like, man, I'm only caught tail ends of Jordan playing because my oldest brother was a huge Jordan fan. Which, I mean, after learning more about like him through just Relentless, I'm like, damn, that was a beast right there.
Yeah.
And then I didn't watch a whole lot of Kobe, and I would like to say that like the Stockton and God, who the hell was the
Malone?
other? Stockton, Malone, and then there was the other one. I can't remember his fucking name. More in a sec, maybe.
Oh, what was his name?
Yeah, but
yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I'd like to say though most of those are pretty good, pretty well clean, especially Malone. I mean, I would think he's pretty strong, especially seeing what he's done with his life. So, if you're in Utah, if you're in Utah, you know who the hell all that is. But and it's like even looking at some of the greats like Tom Brady, and I'm more of a Broncos fan, but like way back in the day, like Elway, Terrell Davis, Ed McCaffrey, Bill Romanowski, especially Ed McCaffrey, the guy would like get fined most games, I think, because he wouldn't wear certain pads, because it was just, he when they were out there, they dominated.
Shannon Sharp,
yeah, Shannon Sharp for sure. I mean, those were the days that I loved watching the sports. Yeah. When those days back then, I feel like they played for the heart of it, not for the money. And I mean, reading this tells me that I think there's a lot less cleaners in the games based off of what he's saying, because he's talked about it. Mm-hmm. And I don't watch sports, so I can't fully say anything, guys. I don't follow a lot of that shit. But I'm just basing it off a book that was released like 10 years ago or whenever this was released first. But I mean, the dark side, that was the whole point of this one, and I love this chapter.
Yeah, it was a good chapter.
It just gets better. I honestly am so excited.
Me too. It's only getting better and better. So,
you got anything else on this one?
No, man. I think we've packed it all up in this little package, and I think it's where it needs to be. So,
guys, thank you for joining, first of all, and once again, you guys, if you have not picked up this book, Relentless, it's hard to see, but go get this book. My wife just started it. And I'm actually going to talk to her today about it. I don't know where she's at in it. I guess I could find out. I have it in front of me. Oh, she's okay. She's just in one of our last chapter chatters we went through.
Okay.
But I'm excited to hear her wordings from this and hear what she has to say about this book.
Love it. Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you. Thanks, everybody, for joining us for another chapter chatter, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.